Welcome to Trading Lounge and the daily US stocks for Wednesday, October the 19th. We're going to just quickly start with the S&P. And from the low here, we're looking at an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave up here. And then we'll come down from that point. Between wave B and wave C, we're looking at, as yesterday, we're counting wave 1 here and 2 here, and then we'll look at 3, 4, 5 to the upside. So when we spoke yesterday, I think that we were sort of in around here's wave 4. The structure is really quite nice here. And I just want to go over it because it's a little bit important when we look at stocks. They haven't moved up very nicely. In fact, if I use the SPY here, we can just, it's nice and clean. We can, same thing, the A, the B, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I might need to adjust that on the way. I'll just see how it unfolds. But this dog leg here, makes it very difficult to count, but I'm going to look at it as the A, the B, and then 1 and 2 coming back here. So an A wave here in 5 waves, the B wave in 3, and then this dropping here before moving up. So I'm looking all of that as wave 1. And the reason for that is when we look at it on the S&P here, we counted yesterday up here as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 1 and 2, then 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5 for third wave, fourth wave. I did have this wave 1 over here, but on further investigations, I'm going to put it here because I can see the strong move in wave 1 here. So 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 for 1 and 2 here, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So all that played out pretty much spot on. So wave 3, 4, 5, and then we were just going to wait for that ABC pattern. So we've got a little 5-wave structure in here, which is pretty clear on the cash market and so on. And then we've got the rally for green wave B here in 3 waves. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we've got a 5, 3, 5 structure here for wave B. And I haven't pulled that apart here, but it looks like 1, 2. No, I have to pull it apart. There might be one more move to come down through to here, but we'll just see how that goes. And we'll look at that a little bit later. The safe trade is going along, getting a classic trading levels pattern on top of the 720 here, because taking out the wave B top here forces the move down here to be an ABC correction, which can come down further at this point. It's possible in some cases to look at this. We may need to put this over here as wave 2. There is a little thing for that, but looking at the SPX, it's got a very clean 5-wave structure here, so we need to go with that. But in some cases we can look at this as an ABC pattern here as well, so I understand that. But taking that B wave out there would cement this being a corrective pullback at that point, because the reality of the situation is that we have an A wave, a B wave, and we could have the C wave here, and that could be the end of it. Just trying to find my C wave here. So it's possible to put the C wave here and AB as a corrective pattern, and that's the end of it, because we do have 5 waves here. So it can be an A, B, C, and then come down from that point. So taking the B wave out would remove that risk to the downside. So you could buy back here lower, but that's where the risk is, you know. You might have another way of mitigating that risk in your own mind, but that's where that plays out. The other point here too is that we came from number 5. Not so much the 3,000 is not important, but the 5 here and the 8 is the important number here. And when we talk about 8, we talk about group 2, the 65 and 72. There's lots of other numbers in there that are important, but that's the skeleton of group 2, and we can see that the market is firmly in group 2 now, so it should stay in there. If it drops out of group 2 here, if this becomes the retested resistance here, and the retested resistance would be that the market needs to come down, it normally bounces off it. Don't chase the market through a breakout like that. Wait for the retest, and if it breaks at that low, then you know it's rejected that number, and you'll be on your bike and heading into town to get the ice cream. So that's that situation. So I'll just leave that, but just showing you this here because This move up here is a beautiful Elliott wave picture, and taking out that top there is the second takeaway, and that's what we're going to be going with. So when we start to have a look at Apple here, for example, we can see that dog leg in here, the same dog leg bringing the SPY back in here that we've got here, which makes it very difficult to count. You could count this as 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and all those sort of things, but there is a case for 5 waves here. So yeah, we just need to be, you know, we can see the market is probably going to go up. In this case here with the Apple, we've got this whole leg down here that we've been working with, and we've got the A, the B. It could be a wave C here, like I said, and drop lower, so I need to take that that little top out here for that, but everything looks pretty rosy at this point, so we should be sort of heading higher. It's jumping out of the trend line channel here, so that's a good sign of of strength at this point, and we'll see how it plays out in this particular space here. I don't really need to go to the intraday on that one, so I'll just put that over there. Nvidia here, so just on 1000 ticks, the same as Apple. We can look at this as wave 1 down here, or wave 3. If we're looking at it as wave 3, the wave 4 can come back to this 140 area here, but so will this as wave 1 here, as an A and a B and a C wave. So this is pretty much what we're looking at here. So the A wave, the B wave, 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 5 to go to the upside. Taking that, well, we're in, this is 100 major trading level, 150 here, and then we've got 1, 2 and 3 that make up group 1. You can see that it's trying to find support on the 120, so you'll need to wait for a classic trading levels pattern on top of that, the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, the ABC, and then over here for that. So that's not support yet. That's, I'm just showing you what support looks like. So it's not there yet. From this high to this low, we're looking for that target there yesterday. So that got hit and retraced from that point. So it should start to build back in here on top there. So you can go long from 20 to 30. And you can build in through, this is group 1 here of 10, 20 and 30. You can also build in through 21, 22 and 23, because that's subgroup 1 of 120, the minor level. Moving on to the next one here, which is Amazon. Once again, you can see that dog leg in here, and we're looking at that same thing, the A, the B, and the 1 and the 2 and the 3 coming up here. Look, that wave 2 may be in here, but that's the 50-60% retracement level, so I just want you to be aware about that. We talked about being long yesterday, you know, above this level here, but yeah, it's all right, you know, I mean, long as they're just small share positions. We're trading against the trend, so you know, it's like being in a correction, really. You need to reduce your position sizes. There's a time to bet more and a time to reduce, and you need to know that. Jesse Livermore was good at that, and most gamblers are. When they're winning, you can bet more, and when you're losing, you reduce. You know, so, I mean, I like to think of trading as gambling because it sharpens your mind, rather than thinking that you're some sort of sophisticated investor and you got your head shoved up your ass. You know what I mean? It's sort of like you got to get a little bit real with it all. So calling it what it is, gambling, is a good start, because it's hard, it's a nice hardcore word, and you know that there's people lose when they gamble, don't you? So you know, it sharpens you up a lot. And yeah, so Meta's a little bit, you know, there's some stocks like Netflix and Meta that are kind of, you know, doing their own thing. They're kind of moving with the market, but they're doing their own little thing. So this one can count a little bit differently here. I'm thinking it just come back up to the 140 to 143 sort of area here. But once again, the you know, the A, the B and the C up here, or I mean the A wave, the B wave, and then up for 1 and back for 2, 3, 4, 5. It could be counted differently as well. It could have a more severe pullback. So I think I've got that here on the 100 ticks. Yeah, but I think that's an A and a B and a C here for that. But anyway, I've got two target areas that could pull back into here. So I've got this counted a little bit differently because we know wave fours can get a bit complicated. But really, there's quite a nice, in this case, you can see that we've got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. So I could call it wave 1 and back for wave 2. It's pulled back nice and sharp like a wave 2, hasn't it, you know? So that's probably the right thing to do. And in that case, we would be looking at wave A here, and then we can just look at this as wave 1 and wave 2 coming back here. It doesn't really matter at this point. We're going up. I think we were long in this at this point. I think we were long here, and then we put the stop above that. It's moved up and it's come back, so you would have gotten out with a small profit or at least break even. Don't let a winning trade turn into a losing trade unless it's a very, very small position and you have a strategy that is going to accommodate, you know, that situation, you know. So Netflix, yeah, so Netflix is a little bit different. I'm going to look at this as wave B here, going up a little bit higher. I don't know if it's going to manage it. We'll see how it goes. I mean, because really it can only move with the other markets. And if we've got the other markets, you know, we've got the other markets as an A wave here, haven't we? And then a B wave here. So really all this can do is 1, 2 here, if that's correct. And then we'll go up for 3, 4, and 5 here. So somewhere along the line, it's not going to end up making a new high as 3 waves. So it's going to end up pushing, we'll have to get at least one more leg here, which will be counterintuitive to the rest of the market, the rest of the count we got. So I've got a situation here that we'll have a problem at some point with this. But for the time being, it's still moving up and everything is reasonably rosy. So yeah, there'll have to be another move up here. We'll have to look at this as 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the third wave, fourth and fifth. Let's get that top in, then we'll come down at that point. And really, you know, when you think about this as well, this is a classic trading levels pattern here that's going to fail. So it's got the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, then come down, retest that, and then come down further. It may end up going back up again after that, but we'll have to just wait and see about that. But as a long-term trade setup, it would need to take that B wave out once we've got that first high above the level here established. So yeah, anyway, we'll look at the bigger picture. Long way to go just yet, but one step at a time. And Enphase, so yeah, so you know, as I mentioned yesterday, it's pulled down, you know, to 40% rather than 38.2%, and so it's sort of deep into wave 4 here. We could have wave 4 in here, but I think that it kind of needs to follow the rest of the market. So I think I can see it pushing up. How far it will go up? Will it make a, you know, I mean, basically this market either vibrates, you know, closely and tightly, or it has a run, you know. It's kind of what it does, you know. It has its moment. So perhaps it'll have a moment here, but I still think that we're going to get something like this. But we were talking about being long yesterday, so you know, we always wait for the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level. So I had that sort of sitting here, so we can bring that down to just above here if you wanted to, if you want to go long, that is. And we'll just keep an eye on it as it goes up here. We'll see what it is. But this, you know, buying at the 38.2% retracement level for a wave 4 is the right thing to do. We don't have to make the bet very big. You know, it's a bit scary when the market's coming down like this and you're buying on the low. But the rest of the market's got, you know, all this week to go up, so we should end up getting up here. We just may have to get out because of the B wave here, you know, and that's not a big deal, at least. Yeah, anyway, make some pocket money on the way. So Tesla, as I've been harping on about, coming into, well, 200 and also group 1, 210, 220 and 230 is going to be a bit of a rough ride. We're going to get some sort of bounce here, and the rest of the market's bouncing, so we're going to get we're going to get something coming in here. It's how far we go is one of the questions, because as I mentioned before, that's not the high, that's the high. So I could put wave 4 here and then put wave 5 over here, which is probably the right thing to do. It's just that this move up here didn't give me 5 waves, but it's nice and short, like these guys here are nice and short. There's one here and one here is short. So it's probably the right thing. If that is the case, then this would be 1, 2, 3, 4 here. We'll come back up to the 38.2%. If it's in line with the rest of the markets, then we'll need to look at this as wave 1 down here, and then wave 2 coming back, and then down for wave 3. This will end up down here somewhere. So yeah, so anyway, we're going to get the bounce. We'll go into the 100 ticks and just shoot the breeze on that for a moment. So we've been counting all the way down, doing all the right things. We can count 5 waves down. It can play out as wave 1 here, or it can play out as wave 3. To be honest, I don't think it's going to make any difference. It's still just going to follow the same pattern as the other market. Well, that's true and it's not, because this is a little bit different. We're waiting for this to finish off, and it finished off a bit differently, where the other markets had this as the high up here, you know. So yeah, so it's a little bit different, but it should fall into sync. But still, anyway, the situation is that, you know, coming down into group 1 here, if you're short, this is the way, you know, this is a place to get out. So we should see a move up here somewhere. That's pretty much it, you know. When the rest of the market tops out and turns, and we can see that, well, then Tesla will be doing the same, and we'll have a look at what the structure looks like at that particular point in time. And have I made a mistake down here? Is this an A and a B wave here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up here or something? So there's a couple of ways to look at it. So there's some work to be done here, but in the meantime, it should be moving higher. So that's that. And Google here. So yeah, we looked at this as wave A and B. The same situation that goes here as well. We looked about being long above this high here, I think, yesterday. So we'll just stay with that, and yeah, it should, you know, it's sort of, there's good support here. I mean, it was resistance and now it's support. This particular pattern is very much like the variation of the classic trading levels pattern. It's like this, but that high and the second high is the ones that we go with, you know. So if you're going to go long in here, then again, you'd go long at that point, taking that top out. I'll just put that back there, but all good. And old Bertie here. So yeah, look, I've changed this count again. I've just been looking at different ways to view this, because I've got an extra wave down here. I mean, I can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, and yeah, so I've just got this extra wave. So I'm just trying to figure. I'm running 2 counts on it, but look, it won't make a big deal of difference. This one here looks at wave 1 here with the A wave here, B wave here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 moving up here higher. So it can move up to the 290 area. A lot of times I like to move back up here further. On the 100 tick chart, I've got it counted differently. On the 100 tick chart, I've got this over here, where we've got the B wave up here. And this is basically what the banks are looking like at the moment, which is very much in line with the Asian markets, actually. So a B wave here, looking at all of this as an A and a B and a C here for the B wave, and then 5 waves up here for that. So we're running 2 counts here, which is okay. We'll be, you know, we can go long at the moment, and we will be able to go short at the same time as the other markets. It's just, what's the picture going to be, you know, what's the count going to be? So yeah, let's just see. I think that, I mean, this should be wave 1 and 2 here, and then this should be wave 1 and 2 here, and then we'll get a 3rd wave up here, and a 4th and a 5th for the 3rd wave, and then the 4th, and then the 5th, be something like that, you know, and then we'll come down. But we want 5 waves to come down, and then we'll buy, if we can see 5 waves here, then we'll get an ABC pattern here, and then we can go short from that point, you know. We can look at the A wave, the B wave. I'm making it a little bit larger than it will be, but we can short it under here. But also too, if we get 5 waves here, that means we can short the 61.8% retracement level there as well for that. So yeah, all good at this point. So that will be the pattern. I mean, that will be the pathway. It's just how will it shoot up here higher, you know what I mean? That's the thing. So on the 100 ticks, I've got it a bit differently, where I've got this whole leg down here. That top there is the A wave here, and then coming down for the A, the B, and the C for the B wave, and having 5 waves go up here for the C of B. So this would be in line with the US banks, basically. But I'll just see how it goes. It might be totally wrong. But yeah, it won't matter too much. We can still go long, as we talked about yesterday. If you're long here, that's fine. Everything looks pretty rosy. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So yeah, so we'll be pushing higher. Yeah, it's how much legs it's going to have in it is the question, you know. Anyway, we'll see how that cookie crumbles. And block here, I haven't been very interested in block because I can see the range in the bars have all been pretty sort of tight, and the market's not really going anywhere. Yes, we know that it will bounce off 50. Will it extend out and move up? It hasn't really. I mean, it's moved up, but hasn't covered a lot of range. It will go higher. That's what we're looking at, but it's difficult for a market to leave a big number. They're like magnets, and yeah, the orders are sort of the psychology of the pull on this, but we should be seeing it move higher and probably move up to the wave 4 here. I don't think it's going to move up to the 50-60%. It could do, you know, you can go long up there, but I don't think it's going to go too far, but I could be wrong. We'll see. But the 6, you know, from 63 to 65 would be probably it. And over to the banks. So yeah, one of the main reasons here, and you know, there's other markets like this, the health sectors like this as well, where this move down here with the S&P has taken out these lows here. But markets like this haven't taken this low out here. So that's why I'm thinking that we've still got further to go to the downside. How to count this here? I could count this as 5 waves here and put wave 1 here and then just put wave 2 over here for this. But some of the banks that have made new lows below here, JP and the Bank of America, they've retraced above their 61.8%. So I'm thinking that we're going to have this as the A wave, the B wave, and up here higher for the C wave, and then come down at that point, you know, and then we'll look at wave 1 and 2 being over here for that. That will be probably there, 1 and 2, and move to, so that's what I'm sort of thinking at this point. Like I said yesterday, you can go long in the banks, but yeah, I think that's the case, and you can kind of see that a little bit more here with Bank of America. It has taken the low out here. We could count this as 5 waves. I think it also counts quite nicely as a nice A, and then 1 and 2 in here, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 in here for the third wave, 5, and then 4. So an 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. So an A and a B and a C. I think that's quite comfortable. And the fact that that's gone way up here above the 61.8%, I think that's sort of where we are. It can take the top out here. That's not a big deal. You know, it'll be what we call an expanded flat, where it takes the low out here and then it takes the high out here and sucks everybody in and then turns down, you know, typical. So that would go back up to this point here. That would be in here somewhere. We can even push this up here. So it'll be something like this, I reckon. Just enough to take the tops out there to lure everybody in, and then it'll turn at that point. So it'll be 1 and 2 and wave 3 up here. We'll probably have a look at this tomorrow internally anyway. And then 5. And then down for 1 and back for 2, and then down for wave 3. So but basically a bit bit of a rinse and a repeat. I thought we might be having this much earlier, but you always get the opposite of what you think you're going to get in the market, so that's why you've got to be extra careful. But yeah, so this be something like that. And this is the same for JP, which is also a little bit closer to its highs over here. So, you know, once again, you can see that that's corrective here. I mean, in this case, there's a good case for having 5 waves down here. I can see that. But once again, we'll just go with this here. I mean, this could end up just being, you know, if I've got this, yeah, I'll just stay with this. I won't confuse the issue any further. Over the days ahead, we'll start pulling this apart a little bit more, but there's still further to go up here for this. It will struggle at it will struggle a lot at 120. It'll be above, you'll get some sort of classic trading levels pattern here. There will be, you could probably spend 3 days here at least, you know. We'll see how that goes. And that's it. So thanks for tuning in. Much appreciated. Cheers.